Checkity check check, checkity check. Checkity check check, checkity check. There's good audio coming in. I'm always very nervous that the audio is just going to die in the middle of the thing, because it just has an amazing habit of doing that. I quit Slack because any app that like feels like it has any audio access at all freaks me out a little bit. Maybe I'll even quit Discord and stuff. Do people like quit apps they're not using anymore? Like I have Photoshop open. I definitely lived through a time where I'd be like, no, that needs to be quit before I do anything of consequence because of memory usage. But I don't really think like that anymore. I only do it when I'm, I don't know, backs against the wall or whatever. Somebody popped in. Thanks for joining me. It's nice to know the stream works. What I have been working on is is my own CSS starter for no particular reason other than fame and glory as far as being a super CSS influencer, obviously. No, I obviously don't care about that. What I care about is like there's a lot of people that has put together a reset and none of them have compelled me to just grab it. And I've always been of the opinion it's like, well, because that's theirs. That's full of their opinions and their thoughts about what they want in a starter. And I have different thoughts. And as I look through anybody's, I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that. I would do this instead, whatever. So this is my chance to actually do that. Have my own starter, which is my thoughts and opinions about it. And we got this far last time, so we can do a quick review. I definitely want to set the font to not Times New Roman with a decent line height. So I'm just doing that on the HTML. You got to reset the box sizing. We'll just have to do that forever on the web probably, unless there's some like opt-in to CSS new mode or something that does it. Less line height on header units, except for the small ones. So those are intentionally left off here. In the future, perhaps if we wanted to do all of them, we could do heading. That's kind of a new thing, but we're not, and I'm intentionally not doing it on the smaller H elements anyway. Got to rip off that body margin, but I do like replacing it and pushing in a little extra far with padding instead of margin. That makes sense to me. We are preventing, blowouts of sized elements in the future by targeting these elements, which we might expand in the future to more, but that's pretty crucial. I'm tempted to do display block on those too. Should I? One of the reasons on the IMG tag you do display block is to get rid of the spacing underneath it, like it's a so it's not a inline element anymore. Because of all these three, I think just IMG is an inline element and these other ones are not. Is that true though? Pen.new, we'll just go into the old editor real quick and then type blah blah iframe /iframe blah blah. Is it in the middle of that sentence or is it block out? No, it's an inline element. Wow. Or I guess it's inline block probably. We could see what the browser style sheet has for an iframe element. Iframe. What is your style? You're just nothing. There is nothing set on you. I guess that makes you inline by default then. So the computed style for display should be inline. Wild. Okay. That makes me want to do it even more, I think. These elements should be display block. My hesitation with display block on IMG is like in my life, I have put images in the middle of text. In fact, I think I even do it at chriscorner.net. I have some images just set right within text like that. And if those were display block, they would break that paragraph. But I think as far as default behavior, you almost always want this. I think I'd probably be setting it more than unsetting it. So I think that's cool in my style sheet. All right, buttons. We stole this one from that fella named Mike yesterday that said that you'll probably forget this. Your buttons should have some border on them, even if they're transparent to be there for high contrast mode. I like that. As far as like a principle, we could have that as a principle, be like, do accessibility things that are easy to forget about. Yeah. And use logical properties. I like having a set of principles as we go through this that we're going to do. That we're a little short on them at the moment. I almost feel like one of the top ones. Maybe we'll number them all as one. You know, in Markdown doesn't care what actual number you give it. They will be numbered as a OL later anyway, so it doesn't matter. Do what feels useful to me. So I'm not trying to make necessarily a starter that works for everybody in the world. This is for me. Cool. Now we looked at inputs and how font inherent is great. It's weird almost how fonts or how inputs have their own font and stuff. This pulls in the font size, the line height, the font family. Maybe not the line height. Does it pull line height? It might, because of that slash syntax in the shorthand or whatever. I think in the future this is going to be appearance. Why is that word hard to spell? Base. That's what that's going to be in the future, and it's going to reset the styles of inputs. I'll put future. That's going to be great. We could do a streaming on that in the future. That is not ready in any browser yet, but that is the future of these things. I put sub and sup in there for that little buddy right there. Can you see that? It's to not mess with the line height as you use sub and sup elements for things like footnotes as you go through that. I've always liked that. Otherwise, a sub and a sup, all of a sudden there can be more line height between two lines and it's obnoxious. This has always done a good job. That came from normalize, and that's about where we quit, I think. But what I want to do now is like just look at more of other people's stuff, see what we forgot about, and then circle back to maybe replacing this kitchen sink with a little bit more of like real world stuff. I don't know, and making sure that whatever is in here really looks like how we want it to look at it from a real default perspective. So I think we might be able to close out Eric's. We started with this being like, this was probably the first one ever, was like a style sheet that Eric said, hey, everybody, you could, if you want to, use this and it'll kind of nuke all styling of stuff and you can start from scratch with CSS. This was a mega popular approach for a long time. I don't know that there's anything else in here I would want to steal. Like this quote stuff, I'm not sure I care about. Tables is interesting though. Maybe we'll grab that. Maybe we'll grab border collapse as a maybe, and we'll put that in our maybe file for later. We definitely need to deal with tables. And so that's on the maybe list. And then I think we're done with Eric's for now. Modern normalize I had not heard of, but of course I've heard of Syndra, who's we can look at. It's just on the list. But let's go through my tabs in order, I suppose, to see what cool stuff we can steal. We looked at Eric's, we looked at normalize already. Have we looked at sanitize? Sanitize had a bit of a different approach, didn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the tabs I already have open. I do, so I guess we'll start with that, or it's after that. Where's the source for this thing? Is there just a built copy of Sanitize? Does that still resolve? Skypack still works, apparently. All right, we could look through that. I guess should I move my face away somewhere else? You want to look at it humongously? Sure. Remind me if my face gets on top of stuff. So border box, great. This comes from Jonathan Neal. I'm surprised. He's who I learned the box sizing inheritance trick from, and it's not here in Sanitize. That's interesting. Add text decoration inheritance in all browsers. Opinionated. Add vertical alignment instance in all browsers. Opinionated. I don't know. I don't know enough I don't know enough to know that I want that. Text decoration inheritance for pseudo elements? I don't know. That seems weird. So where root cursor default? Use the default cursor in all browsers. I don't know. That seems strange to me. Line height we are already setting. Overflow wrap break word. Breaks words to prevent overflow in all browsers. Do you want that absolutely everywhere? Is that inherited? Ooh. I'm tempted to like that, but putting it on every single element or whatever, is overflow wrap inherited? Overflow wrap. Like just putting it on the HTML like that, does that inherited? Yes, it's inherited. Okay. So you put it on the HTML element or the root, as Jonathan was doing in normalize, that it would even take care of this situation where you're very down. Just gonna switch over to my phone for audio then for a sec. Is that fine? It's probably much crappier. Really no idea why the microphone just decides to go out. It has happened so many times. Is that a thumbs up on it's at least hearable? Checkity check. I know there's a bit of a delay. Yeah, okay. I'll stick with that for a moment. It's really, oh, it's a little quiet though. Maybe I can crank it up. This has been my nemesis. I got a new microphone, a new XLR thing to plug it in. It's like no matter what I do on this computer, at one point the sound will just be like, nope, I'm just gonna turn off. And I thought it was Zoom interference, but Zoom is definitely off right now. Any other app? Let's see. Can I turn this up? This is just like phone. My phone. You see how you can put it in like continuity mode or whatever? Oh, and it's so blurry. Focus on it. It's set to focus on faces only, so it's like refusing to focus on the camera. It's certainly louder if I hold it right here, I bet. Maybe I could balance it up here. I think that will work actually. Hello. All right. Hopefully it's louder anyway. My voice is right next to my phone, so that should work okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just throw it all in the junk and start over some other way with audio. I don't know. It freaks me out though. But anyway, we can move on for now. What we were looking at was, hey Blake, nice to see you. Yeah, we have Josh's as an open tab. Can't you see? A modern CSS racing. We're gonna get to Josh. Josh probably has the best stuff in his, dude. But we're gonna look at all of them because I think it's interesting to rock them all in a way. We are looking at sanitized for now. It's a little old school, but you never know. There could be old gold in here. Ooh, tab sizes. Use a 4-space tab within all browsers. Oh, I think I kind of like that. It's pretty niche, but have you ever seen how wild tab size is in normal rendering? Here, let's do it. Pen.new. You have to, like, this freaks me out. I almost want to put it in here just out of, even though it won't come up that much. If you have a pre-tag, and then I set this pen's settings to, what am I trying to do again? I want to indent with actual tabs, but just normal size tabs, like 2 width tabs. All right, so now I'm on tabs, and if I tab in, these are actual tab characters. See how my cursor goes 2 characters each time. And then I type like, hello, tab, how are you, or whatever. The browser width, look at how far indented how are you is. It's insanely far. Font size 32 pixels or something, so it's nice and big. I feel like one tab being that much distance is very wild. So what Sanitize is doing here is saying like that's too far. 8 is too far. Is it actually 8, Blake? That's whack. We'll have it to tab size 4. And if we were to do that, doesn't it just come back down? Yeah, to like reality. Even 4 is wild to me. I would almost, because it's opinionated to me, I would almost put tab size 2 in there. But to be perfectly honest, every technical publication I've ever worked on, I just don't allow tabs in here at all. I just use actual spaces. So what I'm trying to do is hug the left, which is maybe not what you do. I don't care what you do in your own VS Code with your own monitor and all that, but a lot of people read technical docs stuff on their phone, or they're reading a blog on their phone, and having that much indentation for one indent is real far. And I think to handle the mobile use case thing, reducing that is appropriate. I guess you could put it in a media query for a small screen. You could change the tab size for a small screen. I mean, it's just CSS. I've somehow never thought of doing that, but I kind of prefer it. I'm going to put it in ours. I think it's cool. I'm taking it. We're going to set tab size to, should we just do 4? 4 is acceptable, I guess. But because it's mine, I can do whatever I want with mine. I'm going to do 2 just because it's mine. I decided it's 2 today. Okay. Fun. That's what I was hoping to do here. Now, WebKit tap highlight color stuff. I don't know. Now, this is the 3rd time WebKit text size adjust has come up. Prevents the adjustments of font size after an orientation change in iOS. Let's read Killian's article. I said we were going to do it. Let's just do it now. Killian, ooh, I guess this is a bunch of years ago, but whatever. It's there. Let's just read it. I don't get to work a lot on new sites these days, but recently I got to set one up from scratch. Browsers are pretty consistent when it comes to basic styling nowadays, yada, yada, yada. Instead of it looking like this, the page looked like this on iOS. I guess the text is bigger, yeah? Okay. The paragraph is now larger than the header above it, which is obviously not what I had in mind. And because of that, the next section was being pushed down, making that first view slightly less interesting. The reason for this is that mobile Safari increases the default font size when you switch a website from portrait to landscape. That's a wild sentence. Does it still do that? I have a simulator here. Simulator? I know you can't see it because I'm not sharing it yet, but I can set us up first. Let's just try it with the absolute minimum stuff, right? If we just go lorem ipsum with like not even any HTML at all, we save it, we grab debug view. I should use the new editor for this. It would be easier. Copy link address. I'm going to paste it in my simulator, and then I'm going to share the simulator. I can probably share it right now. Simulator. Yeah, there we go. My face isn't still in the way. So I'll paste in the debug view. I know it's super tiny. Let's see if it exhibits the behavior there. I mean, yeah, it's bigger, but that doesn't seem surprising somehow. So that's super tiny. Let's go into settings and add the little HTML most common tag. So now it'll be like a respectable normal size. Is this still bigger when we flip it? Is the sound back from my good mic? The phone mic just dropped out on it a second. It doesn't seem like it's doing it to me. At least in iOS 16.1. It seems fine now. 1, 2, 3. Like that size, when I flip it one direction, it seems the same. So because that's the behavior in current iOS, I'm not super sure how much I care anymore. Although, who knows? I know not everybody in the world is on the most recent iOS or whatever, but we'll see. So, but you can just turn it off if you do this with a bunch of freaking old school vendor prefixes. I don't know. Let's keep reading to see. Safari only supports the prefix version. I feel like it should be part of your CSS reset. Normalize uses it. There's a Daryl Knox pointed to a WebKit bug that has since been solved that prevented people from zooming the page if it was set to none instead of 100. This is probably why normalize went for 100, but it's not a concern anymore. But that's not Killian say don't do it. He's saying just use none. What's up, Mr. Kick 808? Thanks for joining us. And then now he's calling out ones that don't use it. Ooh, we don't have this one on our list. Jen Simmons is one. We definitely should. She doesn't have it. Jen considered it, researched it, but they tested in a way that didn't trigger the text sizing algorithm and concluded that it wasn't needed. Ooh, so is that our problem? Is that we didn't do something right? So it didn't quote unquote trigger it? What triggers it and what doesn't? This does nothing on my iPhone. Nothing. With or without the Vetamuport tag. That's what we're seeing. Of all the legacy habits, well, bye-bye. I don't think this is correct. It still controls the inflation. That's 2 versions older than we have, though. So you have to do this. The text size adjust property controls the text inflation algorithm. I don't know. Why would this matter? We did a paragraph too. Oh, we'll use his debug mode. So we're still sharing this. Oh, I wasn't showing you the screen I was looking at. I was reading stuff. Sorry. But now we can look at a demo that is actually like, okay. Does it get bigger now? Yes, it does. That's definitely bigger, right? That's smaller. That's bigger. Why? What's going on this pen that makes it do it, that makes it not do that on my pen? All right, well, now we have something to look at. So we'll go to Canary again. There's that. We'll look at Jonathan's pen, only we'll put pen instead of debug and see if it's any different. It has an H1, it has some input and stuff, but otherwise has very little going on here. But it actually, oh, and then he's got this toggle in here, but if you toggle it, the behavior is the same in the simulator. I'm just not convinced I care that much about this. Like, I get it. It's a thing. I'm gonna link up Killian's article in the like notes category. Oh, that linked to my own Notion thing where I save articles that I think are interesting. I guess we can put it in should learn more by now, but I'm not terribly compelled. Part of my thinking is, again, compelled, why does that look wrong? Is that this is my reset and I don't, it's not one of those things that I'm always like, oh, I forgot that again. I better go at it. You know, like it doesn't bite me. So like, why would I put it in my reset? You know, I want to be more compelled than that if I can be. All right. We're still cooking through sanitize. And don't we have a copy of it? Where's our CDN copy of it that we had opened? I'll close it. I probably closed it because I'm a tab closing psychopath. Okay. Was that all? Oh no, that's just forms. I want the whole kit and caboodle. This URL. Skypack still kicking. Thanks, Skypack. Thanks, Fred, for not turning it off entirely. All right, we're kicking off the body. Although, see, he's using this where thing. We already put that in our like principles or one of our documents. Like body is such a low specificity selector anyway. I don't care to put where in front of it just to remove the specificity of body. It's so low, I don't even care. And we still might rock a layer on it, which would make it matter even less. So H1s are weird. Remember we looked at the Firefox article yesterday? They fixed H1s now. So H1s are not sized differently depending on if they're within a section anymore. It's just been changed. Look at that. I bet Jonathan would have been so happy in the million years ago when he wrote this that that's fixed now. Kicking margins off of lists. I do that all the damn time. All the damn time. I'm doing it. That is exactly the kind of thing that I want in my reset. I don't want to be as strong as like Eric Myers, where he's just every element in the world removes all their margin and padding. But on lists, which is ULOLDL, it happens to me all the time and I want it gone. I will add it myself if I want it. So this should, I want that hugging the left. So the margin didn't even do it. I want that padding gone too. And we should basically see these bullets like hang off the left. Wow, why didn't that apply to this? Save. What is, oh, there it goes. It just took a minute to resize. Yeah, I don't mind that those are hanging off the left. That's probably not how I would style a list within a blog post or something, but for the record, I don't find it useful, the padding and margin on lists. I'm putting it in there, and I mean it. It's a little bit tempting to be like, oh, the hang off is a little concerning because it can like be cut off with overflow and then you don't see the bullet at all. So you could go list style inside. I kind of like that, where then the bullet point is inside, right? Why isn't the preview working as nicely? Yeah. I think I kind of like it. Did it increase how much space there is between the bullet and the H? Like if this isn't there, is it less space or am I nuts? Yeah, it's like less space. Like that is a normal amount of space. But as soon as you go list style inside, there's more space. I still think I'm going to keep it, but it's weird how that happens like that. Yeah, I'm keeping it. We're keeping it. Cool. What else is going on with Sanitize? HRs that inherit their color. I guess that was a fix in Firefox. I'm not sure how much I care about that. We have HRs on our list already, on our to-do list. Isn't it our to-do list? Or do we put it on our should learn more? I saw an HR on here somewhere. Was that the maybe list? HR style just like a line. I'm putting that in our to-dos because I do like an HR that is just, it's nicer than that HR that you're looking at. I like it when it's just a line and it has lots of space on the top and bottom of it, or the block direction. That's going on the to-do list. But I don't care about some weird old Firefox bug or something. Prevent voiceover from ignoring list semantics in Safari. I see. I wonder if that's been fixed. That's the, if you remove like the list item bullets, but you don't put the bullets back, that it doesn't read as a list. That is going on the needs research list, because that is one of our principles, is that we're doing accessibility things that are easy to forget about. So, but I don't know, you know, like the Sanitize is old enough that I'm not sure if it's on there anymore. Paste it there for now. Correct the inheritance and font size in all browsers. Oh yeah, we looked at this from normalize. I don't know if I care enough. We're gonna style pre's a little bit, but this is some weird stuff that I've never done in my life. So in my reset, it ain't even going there. That's from normalize 2. We looked at it. That's from normalize. All this is from normalize. Vertical align middle on media elements, definitely don't care. Border style none on iframes, maybe. Is there, should we do this real quick? Pen.new, if we put an iframe and we, I guess, don't have any of that stuff, you can't even see it because there is no border. Like, do you, then you could see it if we did this, and it has a beveled border, which you almost surely don't want, right? But you wouldn't want it on any other element either. Maybe we'll put it on the same element up here as in our CSS. Should we put it here? Border style none, so it's affecting the iframe. I don't think these other three elements have a border style. But like, does that mean we should just make a whole another selector just for iframes because it's the only one that's like that? Maybe. Should that be one of our principles, is that we're not applying this to image because it doesn't have a border by default? Or would we do this because it's just easier to look at? Border style none. I think I'm tempted to do that. It's just a little cleaner to look at for me, even though it's not strictly necessary all the time. Okay, SVG stuff we're going to handle differently. Tables, we made a to-do because we grabbed border collapse from the Meyer reset. So that might be one of the things that has lasted all these bazillion years since Eric did that. Ripping off that, we're definitely going to deal with forms. That is weird that which one of these has margin. Button, input, select. We're just going to deal with forms when we need to. I've never thought of like ripping the margin off of them. It doesn't occur to me that they have any margin to begin with. Correct the inability to style buttons in iOS and Safari by rocking button in there. No, I don't want to go there. That appearance-based stuff seems close enough that I'm more concerned about the future than the past there. Some crap about the progress element. Progress is just below my careometer for a reset like this. Search inputs. Correct the odd appearance. Odd is so funny as a word in here. That came from normalize because we saw it yesterday when we were looking through it. I'm somehow caring less and less of the... I almost prefer the opinionated stuff at the top. Where's the opinionated stuff? Here's one. Changing the cursor when we use aria busy true on anything. That I kind of like. That's like an accessibility thing that I would probably forget to do, which is nice, but it's also like, I don't know that I've ever put aria busy. I don't know if I've ever used it in my life. So I think for my input, I wouldn't, because I don't know enough about aria busy to do it. I'm really torn on that one. It seems like a good idea, but it's like for my own reset, I don't think I would. Don't like changing the cursor to pointers generally without a stronger reason than that. Aria disabled, you rock none. I have used aria disabled before. That will take. Aria disabled is a perfectly likely thing to need. So we'll steal that. Aria hidden. You say display initial? Change the display on visually hidden. Oh, my face is in the way, you guys. You gotta call me out on that. I'm looking at this one. Change the display on visually hidden accessible elements in all browsers. So you're saying when aria hidden is specifically false, the display goes back to whatever it was. This is reminding me of the Hidden is a Lie post by Hidden is a Lie. It's just a great post that I'll never forget. Monica. You're supposed to be able to rock hidden on anything, but it's like hidden is such a weak attribute that any kind of overriding of it makes it not work. So it's pretty much not useful unless you rock that. I am going to use that. I think we'll steal that for our opinionated style sheet. Darn it. I guess I'm just going to start pasting stuff. We're going to have to organize this at some point, obviously. It's not particularly well organized right now. And we'll credit Monica, certainly. Oh yeah, we have to use... When are we going to get double slash comments in CSS? Is that going to happen? This one is sanitize. This one is normalize. This one was Mike. We'll look up that blog post later. Good. And this inheritance one was that box sizing inheritance. I wrote the article, but it was I definitely remember it was Jonathan Neal who told me about it, but I'll link the blog post. Okay, good. Anything else in sanitize that we want? where aria hidden is false, or it's hidden display initial. I'd probably do revert or unset. I don't know, I think I like initial there. And when it is hidden, then you hide it like that. No, but I do want to put in our to-do list an accessible hiding class. Let's put a good one in our reset. That would be a smart idea. All right, I think that's as far as I have time to get today. What I want to do is look at the rest of these. Like, we don't need Bootstrap because Bootstrap has reboot now, and we'll be looking at that. And then look at just whatever, if there's any more interesting ones in it. And then we'll make our way through the tabs. Eventually, we're going to get to the really nice new modern ones like Andy Bell's and Josh Komau's, and there is a couple of other really nice ones. Ellie Lowell has her own that we can see if we can steal anything smart from. We'll see if like Stephanie has one. We'll just see if there's some interesting stuff we can steal. Then we got to organize ours, make sure it's noted what's there, and make sure that it applies to a nice chunk of CSS in a way that I would be personally happy to use because it's my starter. Gosh darn it. All right, I really appreciate y'all hanging out. I'll see you again tomorrow. We're going to get this done, I promise.